Power rankings time. Completely meaningless, but nevertheless compelling. Everybody has them, but it's our way of tearing down the lines and the walls that separate divisions and conferences and putting all the teams into one bucket. Who are the best teams in the NFL? And Chris, this week, the top 5, and I can't remember a time this has happened, definitely not this year, the top 5 completely unchanged in the power rankings. Patriots, 49ers, Saints, Packers, Ravens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the Ravens didn't play, so they weren't going to rise or fall, but the top 4 teams all won, and we see no changes. The rest of the top 10, the Seahawks jump 1 from number 7 to number 6 after beating the Falcons. The Vikings jump 1 from 8 to 7 after beating Washington. The Bills fell 2 spots after losing at home to the Eagles. Colts up 2 to number 9. Rams up 2 to number 10. Any problems, any complaints, any issues with the top 10?
Okay, well, first off, I just want to know, was there any thought about 1 and 2 being switched? Any thought? Did you think about maybe making the 49ers 1?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
even though it is funny though, one of the teams the Patriots struggle with, and they only play them once every 4 years, they struggle with the Panthers. The 49ers did not struggle with the Panthers at all. And I can't. The Patriots are the king of the hill. They won the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl champion is always installed as number 1 for me until they lose, and the Patriots haven't lost. And I can't justify knocking them out of number 1 until they lose.
I get you. I probably would have done the same thing, but I would have thought about it a little bit. I mean, the 49ers, it's very close. It's almost like, I don't want you to do this, but you almost could make a tie at 1 right now. That's how good. I mean,
oh no, can't have a tie.
No, you can't have a tie.
Never hear the end of it.
Don't you dare do it.
If you have a tie.
Don't you dare do it. But no, I mean, you look at the 49ers wins, and I think you could go, they've had more impressive wins. They both played the Cleveland Browns, at home. The 49ers beat them by more than the New England Patriots did. Now, it's very close. I'm being nitpicky. But I do find it interesting how, one, the San Francisco offense is better than New England's offense. And then on the other side of the ball right now, defensively, we're all raving about the Patriots defense, but the number 1 defense in football is the San Francisco 49ers, letting up, 20 less yards passing a game than the great New England Patriots defense that we all talk about. So I'm just saying it's an interesting thought. I think the 49ers and the New England Patriots are clearly 1 and 2. It's very close there. My other one, I'll just give it to you. I think I would have the Rams, who you have at 10. I think I would have them at 8, and then the Bills and Colts at 9 and 10. I think I would have put them above them. I know they have one more loss, but I just think in a head-to-head matchup, they're going to win that game. That would probably be my biggest grievance of yours in the top 10.
Again, this is not a projection of who would win. This is where the franchises currently are. And the Rams were not overly impressive in their victory over the Cincinnati Bengals in London on Sunday.
No.
So that kept me from – I thought about moving them up even higher. But you know what? The Colts weren't impressive either.
No.
The problem is the Chiefs lost – and they fell to 5-3, so they had to drop a little bit. But I gave the Colts a little bit of a bump because they are 5-2.
Yeah,
you can't deny the fact that they're 5-2. So they move from 11 up to number 9, in large part because the team that was ahead of them at number 10, the Chiefs lost. They were at number 9, and the Panthers, they got blown out, so they fell out of the number 10 spot. Let's move on to the second 10 since we're starting to delve into that direction. The Chiefs are number 11, falling 2 spots after losing at home to the Packers. Texans climb 2 spots to number 12 after beating the Raiders. The Cowboys hold steady at number 13. They did not play. Eagles move up 1 spot after beating the Bills. That was kind of tough for me, but how much higher do I move them? They're still only 4-4.
Yep.
Panthers fell 5 spots down to number 15 after getting blown out. Jaguars move up 1 to number 16 after winning at home against the Jets. Steelers move up a spot after beating the Dolphins. Lions move up a spot after beating the Giants. Titans up a spot after beating the Buccaneers, a game they shouldn't have won. And the Raiders fall 4 spots to number 20. And you can't have an objection with the second 10.
No,
I'm looking at it now, revisiting it. I think that I got it just right.
No, I think it's pretty close. I probably would have made the Texans 11 and the Chiefs 12 right now, but that's nitpicky. I get that.
The Texans did beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Texans did beat the Chiefs. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So that's the only one. I think the rest of it, I agree with you there. I do think the Eagles at 14, and I would have put them there as well, so I'm not disagreeing with you, but I just want to say this. Watch out. the Eagles, it was the best game they played last week. They looked like a different team. Fletcher Cox was effing the play up all game long. They're healthy at corner, so I thought their defense looked much improved last week. And if they get that running game going, as we saw against the Buffalo Bills, which is very surprising because Buffalo is phenomenal front seven, the Eagles could be a team that cracks into your top 10 here over the next few weeks. I certainly liked what I saw there up in Buffalo.
Here's my complaint about the Eagles, and it's partial praise, but I'm also concerned. And I made this comment in the actual power rankings that we have at ProFootballTalk.com. If they played when their backs weren't against the wall, the way that they play when their backs are against the wall, they'd never have their backs against the wall.
I know.
Like, why do they wait until it feels like this season is falling apart to put together their best performance of the year? Where's that urgency earlier in the season? Where's that urgency? And, it's kind of like the microcosm of the game is the microcosm of the season, because how many games have they fallen behind and then tried to wake it up?
Yep.
Like, what is it about these Eagles that they need to be in panic mode before they perform at their best?
It's hard to put a finger on it and really figure out what it is about them that's like that. Maybe a little complacency. I think maybe that they think, everybody picked them to be a Super Bowl contender in the Super Bowl, whatever it may be. So maybe that gets in their ears. A little bit of cockiness, I guess, to a degree. The other thing is the injuries. I think the injuries is a very real thing with Philadelphia, and they kind of had to not only just withstand the storm of trying to get healthy and be competitive, but it affect their team schematically on both sides and everything like that, to where, they're getting healthy now, and I say watch out. But it is weird how they are like that, that they seem to thrive when everybody thinks they're done and they regroup. It says a lot to Doug Peterson, but I don't know why they dig themselves in these holes either.
Let's continue on through the back half,
the
back
crap
third,
portion of the
third.
NFL.
Yeah, and we got to give these teams a little bit of consideration.
Yeah.
And look, the Chargers moved up 6 spots by virtue of a game they should have lost, only because every other team in front of them stinks, and every other team in front of them lost. So I had no choice but to move the Chargers up 6 spots. The Browns drop 1, the Bears drop 1, the Cardinals drop 1, the Broncos drop 1, and the Buccaneers hold firm even though they lost. That's a game they probably should have won. Giants actually move up a spot despite losing to the Lions. They weren't horrible, or at least as horrible as they could have been. Jets down to number 28. Falcons still at 29. Washington moves up a space by only losing by 10 points to the Vikings, in large part because the Bengals at 0-8 finally have to settle in to number 31. Dolphins holding firm at 32. And Chris, week 17, it's coming. The Bengals and the Dolphins get together to determine who will have the first overall pick in the draft.
The showdown we've all been waiting for. I probably would make the Bengals 32 and the Dolphins 31 right now, but who really cares? I mean, it is amazing. It does seem like a year more than ever that the upper class is, it's way more significant than the rest of the NFL. Here's a question I have for you, just to talk some ball here. Like, where's the line of demarcation of teams where you go, these are legitimate, like, Super Bowl contenders? I'm not saying to win the Super Bowl, but you could make a case that they could get in the Super Bowl. Is it 14 at the Eagles? Does it
14?
14?
That's it. That's it.
Like, you
14.
don't look at the Panthers as Jaguars as being quite in that conversation. Like, maybe playoff contenders, but you don't think Super Bowl is realistic to say to them, right?
Not unless Cam Newton walks through that door at 100%. Superman, 2015 MVP Cam Newton soon.
Yeah.
It's 14, and the rest of them, I'd be shocked if any of those teams become viable Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I'm with you there, too. I certainly like the Panthers, and I think the Jaguars can be a pain in the butt, but it would take Cam Newton to get back on and be on right away from the get-go, which I think we saw a little last week. We haven't talked about that game a whole lot, and Kyle Allen certainly had his worst game of the year. Hey, they've been fortunate to play some teams while Kyle Allen has started at quarterback to where they match up really well with. Now, we'll see. This is not a great matchup this week with the Tennessee Titans, but, the thing I came to more than anything last week watching the Panthers play, who you have at 15 on your power rankings, where I just said, Kyle Allen, it's good and everything like that, but if the Panthers want to play with the big boys in the NFL, and especially in the NFC, they need number one. And, some of the shots that have been taken at, Cam Newton that, Kyle Allen's harder to defend because he'll check the ball down. Like, challenge flag, BS. Like, BS on that crap. I mean, guy's an MVP. He's played at a high level. And, for a coach to say that was wrong. That was wrong. I don't know other way to say it. The Panthers are at their best when Cam Newton's healthy. And if he can get back out there, I still think they're a team that, can maybe turn it around and make you and I change our opinion to go, ooh, maybe they can be a Super Bowl contender.
Hey, one last point. We had mentioned the Bengals, and you said you would put them at number 32. The difference between the Dolphins and the Bengals this year, the Dolphins were trying to lose. The Bengals weren't. But now that they're 0-8, Andy Dalton yesterday on his birthday was benched for Ryan Finley. And look, they want to see what Ryan Finley can do. That's fine. But anytime you want to evaluate what younger players can do, you no longer are putting a premium and a priority on winning, which is fine. And I'm fine with acknowledging that we're bad. Let's go ahead and be as bad as we can be. Let's not worry about winning these games because the reward is we're going to draft higher and maybe they'll be able to get their franchise quarterback, Chris, in 2020. Some unlucky college football player who is achieving at the highest level of the sport is going to be the quarterback of the Bengals next year.
Yeah, well, yes, that's the downfall of being awesome in college and being in that conversation for the first pick. You're going to go to a crap team and have a tough road ahead of you, and it won't be easy. But, yes, it certainly seems like both of those teams are going to be in the business for quarterbacks. And the Bengals, I think that's the proper decision just to button up this conversation. They got to see what they got in Ryan Finley. I think they know that, the Andy Dalton era is over. Okay, we'll move on. But, if Ryan Finley comes here and blows us all away the last 8 weeks of the year, they might go, okay, maybe we got the guy for the future. Let's see what he's got. And then they can, worry about using some of those assets on other positions on their team that they dearly need to fill.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.